Greetings, brothers and sisters. What is up? Welcome back to yet another exciting one from our three giant countries in the continent, the AES countries. It is final, brothers and sisters. On the 28th of January, we saw the AES countries finally finalizing the Ecowas, do we call it
exit?
The Ecowas exit, and it is something that most of us have been anticipating, and to see it finally happening. At some point we were scared. It felt like these guys are rethinking their decision. At some point we were told they won't go. Tinubu was really much convinced that they won't exit. We prayed for this
thing.
And we
saw Faye working towards not.
Where is Faye, by the way?
I don't know.
Hey,
but I saw him. I think he has a newborn.
Oh, yes, I remember.
He named after his prime minister. His prime minister's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what has been happening. And thank you so much to Faye for having this newborn, because it's not interfering in the Ecowas and the AES exit. And we're just excited to announce that it is official. On the 28th of January 2024, this is a date that will remain etched in the annals of West Africa. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger announced their withdrawal from the economic community of West African states. A year later, these three nations, united within the Alliance of Sahel States, strongly affirmed their determination to chart their own course far from this regional organization under imperialist influence. And this has finally happened. And January 28 marks a decisive step, the official departure of these countries from ECOWAS, an emancipation resulting from an awareness, from a desire to take back control of their destiny. Indeed.
Remember, their wish was to leave immediately. That was last year, 2024 January. But they were told, according to the policies of the ECOWAS, they have to stay for a whole year as they rethink it. Because these guys were hoping that they will come and rethink it out and say, "Oh, we are staying." And they were trying to give Jumai Faye time with the other guys. But now it never worked, and they were like, "We are leaving." So it was said, "Okay, we are going to allow you to leave. It's okay, you leave. But we are giving you 6 months
to rethink. Just,
you can always come back in the 6 months."
Did I think these guys will ever regret this decision?
Maybe in July we will be here singing and saying the 6 months are over. But the problem was we don't trust these guys, and the 6 months would have been, there is like some time to remove, destabilize, fix their own, go back to it for us.
Yeah.
Though we are hoping things will not be like that. So what happened on 28th of January after, their decision was final and they have left?
Yeah, I think even before we get to the celebrations, on Monday they had a meeting with Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traore. That was a meeting with ministers to discuss way forward. These guys are very strategic. They don't just do things and think God will help them, with whatever comes their way. They plan ahead. So they went on, they planned the types of collaborations that they'll be having with ECOWAS moving forward. After the exit, a lot is going to change. At some point, ECOWAS was saying, "You guys will not be welcome in our territories if you exit." So they needed to plan ahead for such, and we saw them having a meeting of the ministers of foreign affairs of the Confederation of Sahel States. This was the preparation of negotiations with ECOWAS following the withdrawal of the member countries. So the ministers of foreign affairs of the Confederation of Sahel States met in Ouagadougou under the chairmanship of His Excellency Mr. Abdoulaye Diop, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Mali, the country holding the presidency of the AES Confederation. This meeting, which was held in the presence of Ministers of Foreign Affairs of Burkina Faso, Niger, as well as the President of the National Commission of the Confederation of Sahel States of Burkina Faso, had the main objective of examining the relations between AES Confederation and ECOWAS following the withdrawal of the three countries from the sub-regional body. So the highlights of these meetings are as follows. Number one, the coordination for negotiations with ECOWAS. The ministers focused their discussion on the overall approach to future negotiations with ECOWAS, with a view to best defending the interests of the populations of the region. Support of heads of state. The ministers welcomed the leadership and determination of the heads of state of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to make the AES Confederation a space of sovereignty, peace, and shared prosperity. Number 3, popular support. They also highlighted the massive support of African populations for the vision of the Confederation, thus reinforcing the Pan-Africanist scope of the actions undertaken. And finally, thanks to the President of FASO, the ministers expressed their gratitude to the President of FASO, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, for his leadership and commitment along his counterparts from Mali and Niger. So those are basically their strategic plans for the future. Right now, they know that we'll be living. How do we negotiate with ECOWAS? There's trade, there's a lot of, their citizens also living.
Trade pacts, trade policies in which maybe they were not, because they were members of ECOWAS, they were not supposed to pay anything. Like even the movement of people, when you're from Ghana, you're going to Burkina Faso, you don't need a passport, you only need your ID if you don't have a passport.
With the ECOWAS city membership.
Yeah, with the ECOWAS membership. But now, what will happen? Because they are no longer in ECOWAS. Will ECOWAS now decide that you need a passport to come here? Like, I need a passport to go to those countries, So, those are the things that they are going to discuss.
Yeah. And I think it was best, well structured to have a meeting before the final date of exit, because you're exiting and you don't want to exit with concerns and uncertainty for the future. Right now, these guys, when they do things, they know that we'll be good. Even if they sanction us, this is how we're going to move forward. And all three of them move in one voice. And speaking about celebrations, the very same day, we saw
that was yesterday, Tuesday.
28th of January, when the AES was finally exiting, we saw Niger rising. They call it the hotbed of anti-ECOWAS protest. Nigerians just went onto the streets and they celebrated the exit. They even had some sort of a play where they had a hospital bed. There's a doctor, Dr. Gianni, trying to resuscitate the body of ECOWAS, and he just gave up when he realized that this thing is dead, man. Let's just let it go.
ECOWAS died.
Yeah, ECOWAS died. It was such a beautiful play, if I may call it, to watch. And sometimes, you think that this is just a play, when it's actually, well, for me, looking at it in a spiritual way, I saw a ritual.
Yeah, well, especially now they have those coffins and all that.
Yeah, I saw it as a ritual.
It means ECOWAS is dead. It's one thing saying we have left, we are celebrating.
It's another one
saying ECOWAS is dead and they are having a burial. So
now that's a ritual. In African spirituality, that is very serious, because imagine in future generations, if any of the three countries, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, well, speaking of Niger, because they're the ones who held the barrier, if any of the future presidents of Niger was to take back Niger to ECOWAS, the ancestors would rise. These people were part of this barrier, would rise up and say, we buried that nonsense. Why are you resuscitating it when we actually buried it? And, it would be a big problem.
But my thinking is, what will happen now, because these are like 80 million strong people who have left the ECOWAS, and they were very important in the supply of some things, and also a market for some things. So it means the market has reduced. And when we talk about agricultural products from Cote d'Ivoire, from Ghana, that were going to these countries, there will be now tariffs and all that. So I think it will have an effect in ECOWAS. And that's why these guys, the likes of the president of Nigeria, Tinubu, they are very scared of these guys leaving. But anyway, let's see what will happen in the next few days. Let us know what you think in the comment section about this. We have been waiting for too long, like a whole year waiting to see these guys. We are still waiting for 6 months, but we are happy that it finally happened. These guys didn't go back, and rethink this decision. It's beautiful.
The people are free.
Yeah, and like they are saying, Africans have supported them. So guys, if you'd like to support us, we have Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee, you just get us it's cold here.
Very cool.
Just 1 cup, $5, 2 cups for 10, 10 cups for 50. We appreciate. Also, there's super chats and super thanks. and we are going to see you in our next video.
Bye.
Bye bye.